In a world where words could wound more deeply than stones, there existed a small town that reflected both the beauty and the brokenness of humanity. The town looked peaceful from afar, with its narrow streets, modest homes, and a mosque whose call to prayer echoed gently at dawn and dusk. Yet beneath this calm surface lived silent struggles, unspoken pain, and hearts bruised by cruelty that often hid behind laughter. Bullying did not always shout here, sometimes it whispered, sometimes it smiled, and sometimes it pretended to be harmless fun. But its impact was real, and its scars were deep. Among the children of this town lived a boy named Ayaan. He was small for his age, soft-spoken, and carried a kindness that made him different in a world that often rewarded loudness and force. Ayaan loved books, loved animals, and loved to sit quietly after prayer, thinking about Allah's creation. His gentle nature, however, became the very reason others targeted him. Some mocked his voice, others laughed at his worn clothes, and a few found joy in making him feel invisible. Ayaan rarely spoke back. He believed silence was safer than resistance, even though every insult settled heavily in his heart. At school, bullying had become a daily shadow. Children teased him for being quiet, called him weak for refusing to fight, and mocked his faith without understanding it. Sometimes they pushed him in the hallways, other times they excluded him from games, making him feel like an outsider in a place meant for learning. Teachers did not always notice, and when they did, the bullying simply learned to hide better. Ayaan often returned home with a forced smile, unwilling to worry his widowed mother, who already carried the weight of the world on her shoulders. Every night, after offering his prayer, Ayaan raised his hands and whispered to Allah. He did not ask for revenge. He did not ask for punishment. He only asked, with tears sliding silently down his cheeks, for the pain to stop and for hearts to become kinder. His prayer reflected the essence of Islam, which teaches patience in hardship and mercy even in pain. Yet patience did not mean the pain was light. It only meant he carried it quietly. In the same town lived another boy named Samir. Samir was strong, popular, and admired by many. Teachers praised his confidence, and students followed him without question. What few noticed, however, was the anger inside him, an anger born from neglect, harsh words at home, and a constant need to feel powerful. Samir often led the teasing against Ayaan, not because Ayaan had done anything wrong, but because bullying gave Samir a temporary sense of control. Each laugh from others felt like proof that he mattered. Islam teaches that hurting another human is like hurting all of humanity, but Samir had never truly felt those words reach his heart. He knew verses by memory, yet their meanings remained distant. To him, strength meant dominance, not compassion. When Ayaan walked past with his books clutched tightly to his chest, Samir saw an easy target, not a fellow human carrying invisible pain. One afternoon, after school, the bullying crossed a line. Samir and his friends surrounded Ayaan near the playground, mocking him loudly, pulling at his bag, and pushing him until he fell to the ground. Laughter echoed while Ayaan struggled to stand, his hands shaking, his eyes burning with humiliation. No one stepped forward. Fear kept witnesses silent. That silence hurt almost as much as the bullying itself. Watching from a distance was an elderly man named Imam Karim, who often volunteered at the school to guide students in moral education. He had seen many things in his lifetime, wars, loss, and the slow erosion of kindness when people forgot empathy. That moment pierced his heart. He walked toward the boys, not with anger, but with a calm authority that made even the loudest voices quiet. Imam Karim helped Ayaan to his feet, brushed the dust from his clothes, and placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. Then he turned to Samir and the others. He did not shout. He did not threaten. He asked a single question that lingered in the air like a challenge to their souls. Do you believe Allah is watching only in the mosque, he asked gently, or everywhere? The boys stood silent. Samir felt something unfamiliar, shame. Imam Karim spoke softly about the Prophet Muhammad, who was mocked, insulted, and hurt, yet responded with mercy. He reminded them that Islam forbids oppression, especially against the weak, and that true strength lies in protecting others, not humiliating them. His words were not lectures, they were mirrors, forcing the boys to see themselves clearly. That evening, Imam Karim visited Ayyan's home. He listened patiently as Ayyan's mother spoke through tears about her son's suffering. The Imam assured her that Islam stands firmly against bullying and injustice. Your son's gentleness, he said, is not weakness. It is a rare strength. Ayyan listened quietly, feeling, for the first time, that someone truly understood him. The following weeks brought change, slow but real. Imam Karim began holding sessions at school, not just about rules, but about hearts. He spoke of kindness as worship, of friendship as a responsibility, and of bullying as a form of oppression that Allah does not love. He shared stories where compassion changed enemies into friends. Some students listened with curiosity, others with resistance, but seeds were planted. Samir struggled the most. Guilt gnawed at him. He began noticing Ayyan's silence, his flinches, his loneliness. One day, Samir overheard Ayyan reciting a verse of the Quran about patience and forgiveness. Something broke inside him. That night, Samir could not sleep. For the first time, he wondered how much pain he had caused and why hurting others had never healed his own wounds. Days later, Samir approached Ayyan, his voice unsure, his pride trembling. He apologized, not perfectly, not eloquently, but sincerely. Ayyan looked at him, shocked, fear and hope battling in his eyes. Remembering the teachings of Islam, Ayyan accepted the apology, even though the scars remained. Forgiveness did not erase the past, but it opened the door to healing. Slowly, an unexpected friendship began. Samir learned that Ayyan loved poetry, that he dreamed of becoming a writer, that he prayed not only for himself but for those who hurt him. Ayyan learned that Samir's anger came from pain, not cruelty alone. They were not suddenly best friends, but they became human to each other, and that changed everything. Word spread through the school. Bullying lost its power when kindness became louder. Students began standing up for one another. Teachers paid closer attention. The mosque organized community events where children of all backgrounds shared stories, struggles, and laughter. Islamic kindness stepped beyond sermons and became action. Years passed. Ayyan grew into a confident young man, using his words to speak against bullying and injustice. Samir became an advocate for compassion, openly admitting his past mistakes so others could learn. Together, they spoke at schools and gatherings, reminding people that bullying is not harmless, silence is not neutral, and kindness is a duty owed to every human being. Their story became a reminder that Islam does not teach superiority, but responsibility, not cruelty, but mercy. It teaches that every tear matters, every heart deserves safety, and every human, regardless of strength, weakness, faith, or appearance, deserves respect. This tale lives on wherever someone chooses kindness over mockery, courage over silence, and friendship over fear. It lives on every time bullying is stopped by compassion, and pain is answered with mercy. It lives on because Islamic kindness is not meant only for Muslims, it is meant for all humans, to protect hearts, heal wounds, and remind the world that no one deserves to be bullied.